Hi guys, welcome back to Twisted Dice. I'm Sean.
And I'm Darren.
You're in for a treat today because we're going to play our second game of Horus Heresy. 3,300 points, really fluffy. We rolled a random mission, we got War of Lies. It's the one that nobody likes to play at tournaments, simply because you have 5 objectives on the board. At the end, if you're holding the objectives, you roll a dice. Sometimes you lose points, sometimes you gain points, but as we said, it's just going to be a really fun, fluffy game. Darren, tell us about the deployment type.
Well, we're going with Search and Destroy, which is going to be the table quarters on the board with the bit of circle in the middle.
Yeah, we've got some.
It's going to be awesome.
We got some fantastic terrain for you as well, so we really think you're going to enjoy this. What we're going to do is we're going to quickly jump into the units. We're going to show you.
First up in the green corner, the boy who just wanted to be loved, Horus the Warmaster. And in the red corner, we have the one-eyed wonder that is known as Magnus the Red. Next up, we have everybody's favorite, the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought. Anybody turning up to battle standing on a Reaper battery carriage is not to be messed with. With more guns than a Toyota Prius, we have everybody's favorite assault gunship, the Fire Raptor. We have Horus's personal Spartan assault tank, handy for popping to the shops in, or conducting a full-on armoured assault. Nothing particularly special about this model. It is a Rhino APC, but I think you'll agree it has one hell of a paint job. Next up, we have the Reaper batteries with Phosphex canisters. Probably the best unit in the universe.
Right guys, here we are for deployment. Green dice for Sons of Horus, red for Thousand Sons. See who wins the roll-off for first turn. Ooh, looks like it's going to be the Sons of Horus have the choice to go first or second. So everyone, we've had the roll-off. I've won. I've made Darren go first, and he has deployed one unit of Segmech Terminators over here, and he's chosen this corner of the board with some of the buildings. Now, with regards to the objective, we have one objective here in his own deployment zone, as well as one laterally across from it. Now, here's the one in the middle. As you can see, we've got some really nice, pretty buildings, and we've got a bit of a rock outcrop where the Sons of Horus are steadily advancing in. What I've decided to do is I've put my quad Reaper batteries down here. I've got one Contemptor. I've got all the veterans hidden in here in the Rhino, a little bit afraid of the Phosphex coming down. As you can see, we have the Spartan. Now I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Reavers into the Spartan in case anything drops down in front of me. I want to be able to come out and countercharge that. And then I've set the 2 Javelins up here at the back so they can potentially zoom out forward around the board unless they're taken out. Then, with regards to the 2 other objectives, I've got one in the backfield here, and then one laterally. So this should prove for a very interesting game. Let's jump into Darren's turn 1. So guys, here we are. Turn 1, one of the first 2 Leviathans dropping down. An exciting moment for Darren. We're going to roll the scatter dice and see where he is. Now, a little bit of a risk here at the edges, but I don't see much to worry about this, Darren.
It's not too bad, so it's going to pay off in my favour.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay, low numbers please.
Oh wow, 10 inches.
10 inches, that could be...
Interesting, are you going back into reserves? No, I think you'd be fine.
So if I pop that...
Okay, let's just move this out of the way. Cool. So not too bad.
No, it's not...
Okay, that's the first one. Now, second one, what are you thinking?
I'm kind of chucking all my eggs into one basket.
I've noticed that.
However,
he needs this. Here you go, my friend. Here are the dice. Nice, let's keep them down here where we can all see them. Okay, what do we got? Oh no, this is good, this is good. Oh, it's not too bad.
We're fine, I'm happy with
4
that.
inches, there you go.
So I'm alright with that.
It's not too bad, we got excited there.
Okay, so the end of my turn, the 2 Leviathans have done what they needed to do at the beginning. We've managed to completely destroy one of the Rhinos. Didn't blow it up, which I was hoping for, but it is just a wrecked vehicle, which is make his veterans jump out 6 inches away. And then I did manage to pop one of the land speeders, and I did put a wound with the flamer on the other one. So what I done was 2 flamers from the chest into the first land speeder, which meant I got a cheeky one on the back. So I did manage to put a whole point on there, so awesome. So now moving into Sean's first turn. Okay, so Sean is going to be doing the brave thing, going to put his drop pod in, hopefully it scatters off.
Oh, bang on, direct hit.
So why can't that do it for me?
So movement for the Sons of Horus. I've moved the Reaper carriages along here because I have the long march. It gives them relentless, means they can fire. So they've moved away from the drop pods. I've moved the Contemptor that was slightly over here, closer towards the Leviathan, potentially hoping to get that into combat if I was to get that down, just an option. The veterans have decided to get out of there, it's just too risky with all that phosphex. I have moved the Spartan over here. As you'll see, I've taken away the Reaper squad. We realise I can't go in a Spartan, so we've just put them back into reserve, which we probably would have done. I've moved the Landspeeder Javelin round the back here for a couple of pot shots, and obviously the Leviathan isn't going to do anything, hence why he's still there.
Okay, so Sean got really lucky, managed to pop off my drop pod, which is now leaving my lovely Leviathan out in the open. So Sean is going to have a little attempt now with the Leviathan, with the Contemptor, to see whether or not he can do some damage into the side armour of my Leviathan. Let's see what he can do.
Right, so 3s to hit.
Ooh. Now I believe they're ballistic skill 5, Sean, so 2s.
2s to hit.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll double check that in a second. I'm going to need 6s on
6s,
the side.
yep.
No 6s.
No, unfortunately not. So does mean my little Leviathan over there is safe for a little bit longer.
So here we are at the end of the shooting phase for the Sons of Horus turn 1. What was starting off over here? Anyway, so all of the firepower that could be mounted from this side of the table, and the Spartan as well, was put into the Leviathan. Some really good rolls from Darren. I believe I managed to do 4 hit for hull points, and he rolled half of them, so that's pretty good. Over here we had even better rolling, and he made a couple of pen saves, so that was pretty cool. No hull points off that, so this is precarious for the Sons of Horus at the moment. It's not looking good. We're going to try an ambitious charge here with the Contemptor to see if we can just put some wounds. We may lose him if he gets in, but I think that charge distance is probably going to be a little bit too much. Looks like a 7 or an 8 there, so we'll wait and see what happens. Right everyone, just a quick update. I didn't make it into combat with the Leviathan, so I rolled a 6 unfortunately, so it's just a centimetre out, but we will pick this up. Let's move into turn 2 for the Thousand Sons.
Okay, so end of movement for the Thousand Sons. Been very, very lucky. All my dice came in, everything came from reserve. So now the Thousand Sons have a lot more on the board, have a lot more threatening presence for Sean to handle. So first of all, Magnus was deep striked in, bit brave where he deep striked in, but did hit, so luckily did not mishap, otherwise that could have been a bit of a nightmare. One squad of veterans came in from outflanking, rolled 1, so ended up onto this corner, so hopefully going to be aiming for his artillery just there. The second vet squad came in from the other side, and hopefully going to try to take out his lonely little artillery on the side there. And then over in the corner, the Fire Raptor come over from there, and the drop pod with the Librarian Contemptor just there. So let's see where we go, going into my shooting. Okay, so Magnus went in really, really strong with the Psychic phase. So from Smite, managed to turn it into a D, and we did take out the Spartan, so really lucky on that. I've got off from the Biomancy, I've got the Feel No Pain on the squad, and I've also managed to do with Life Leech, managed to take out 2 units of Sean's artillery, so that's a little bit of a lesser threat coming from there. And then over in this corner here, I managed to get off their little thing, so now they're now sitting on a 4-up Invan, but with their divination it now pushes it up to a 3-up Invan. Okay, so end of shooting for the Thousand Sons. Really, really lucky on regards to shooting. All my dice were rolling very, very hot. Managed to do 1,300 points worth of damage in shooting and psychic phase. So it doesn't leave Sean with a lot left on the table. As you can see, a lot of units have now disappeared. So Magnus' squad did manage to take out more of the vets in the centre. My vets at the back did manage to take off quite a few of your artillery at the back. And the Leviathan, bit of a schoolboy error on this one, didn't move him out of the drop pod, so it does mean I'm still embarked upon a vehicle, so I cannot assault from it. But I did manage to blow up his drop pod. And on regards to the the Leviathan Dreadnought here, I did manage to pop a couple of hull points in his back armour. Then the vet squad in the corner here did manage to take out Sean's artillery in this corner here. So overall, doing really well on shooting. As I said, I can't emphasize enough on how lucky my dice rolling were on shooting. Let's go into Sean's turn 2.
So here we are, Sons of Horus turn 2. Pretty savage turn last turn. Difficult to watch the majority of the army disappear. So what we've got left is we've got one Leviathan who's shaken. We've got a Landspeeder Javelin on 1 hull point. 1 Reaper battery. Horus is turned up, little concerning, and I've managed to get my Reavers in. So everything's on the board, but this is definitely an uphill battle. I'm probably about half the points Darren's got on the table. What we've done is we've moved the Leviathan over here, right in here, try and get a couple of snapshots off with the melter equipment, see if he can get a charge in there, would be handy. I'm going to fire the Javelin here into the back of the Leviathan, but it's, you know, these things are pretty tough. I think I'm going to have to save the Reaper battery and fire at these guys, see if I can take out a few here, and hopefully next turn charge in here and take the squad. But no charge the turn you arrive, so again I need to hopefully have a good round of shooting. With regards to Horus, he's going to unload all the melter equipment they normally use on tanks into the back of Magnus, but we got to see how we get on this turn. So definitely an uphill fight, but not giving up. It could be an interesting game. If I have a good turn, you know, I could be the underdog, but we never know. We shall fight on. So the fight back begins. The Landspeeder, which is pulled back, fired 2 crack missiles into the back of the Leviathan. 2 of them hit, both penned, but he made 2 invulnerable saves. Couldn't do anything. The guy at the front cracked off a melter gun. He's obviously got Sarenite armour, but today this didn't help him, and I managed to get 1 through. So let's see what we do on the pen table. Remember, it is an AP1 weapon, and we've got a 4. 4 and 2 is 6, so we've got an immobilised result. That is massively helping our cause today. Very, very happy right now. Very happy right now. Right guys, this is a big fight back now. We've got a Landspeeder. He's immobilised this Leviathan. This Leviathan here is keen to make his mark on the battle. He's snap fired. Remember, he's shaken from the last turn. And he's got 3 hull points left. He hits with 2 Melter Lances. He gets 2 pens. Darren, he's got 2 invuln saves. He makes 1. What does this lance do? So remember, AP1, we've got a 6. It's big.
It's bang.
It's gone bang. Wow, the fight back is happening. So guys, here we are. We've managed to take out the majority of the veterans for the Thousand Sons. Doesn't mean that they're not dangerous with their re-rolling to hit and their wounding, shredding ammo, which is pretty cool. But they're down to 3. That was mainly done by the Reaper battery here, just had a really good go. With regards to the Phosphex bombs onto Magnus, pretty spectacularly bad. Managed to win myself 4 times, but made 4 up in Von saves, which was pretty cool to mitigate the wounds. I did manage to kill 1 Terminator and popped a wound on another one, which is disappointing, but with that 3 up save that Darren has due to his psychic powers, he's really pulling it off. Over here, a little lackluster with regards, well, I mean, not bad. We've managed to kill the Dreadnought, but we've got to wait and see what happens, and this guy is immobilised. So everything's on the board now, so we'll just see how it plays out.
Okay, so end of movement for the Thousand Sons. Thought I'd be a little bit cheeky here and try something different. So I went for the tank shock onto Sean's Reavers, hopefully trying to get them to fail their leadership test, but they didn't. They passed, which meant they had to move over to keep 1 inch away from the Rhino itself. What this does mean for myself, hopefully, it will allow my little birdie here to put a couple of shots into the guys up front, so it does open them up on that side. And then over here, Magnus is just going to pretty much stick where he is. He's well within combat range. Over in the corner, the Terminator's over in the corner with Armament has moved up, just get some extra shots into Horus and his bunch of merry men. And then coming over to the other side, Leviathan has pulled himself out of the drop pod and positioned himself nicely behind the back of the Sean's Leviathan, with my veterans moving up for the approach to kill off, hopefully, his last little artillery. Now, one thing we are missing on the board, and that is the Dreadclaw. Dreadclaw Claw did go off the board, and as it flew over, it did take out Sean's last wound on his javelin. So that's fantastic. So let's go into psychic and shooting, and let's see how we come off. Okay, so Ender's psychic. We did get one of my psychics. All my psychic spells pretty much went off on Magnus. I did get off smite into the Justicas and did manage to kill off 2, Sean.
Yeah, I think it was leech life.
Yeah, 2.
Yep.
And then over on here, made a bit of a mistake. Well, I did make a mistake. I kind of got Perils of the Warp, which is kind of gutting a little bit. However, the spell does go off because I did get a double 6. Rolled a 1, did pass my leadership test, so it just meant I did lose just 1 wound on one of my Terminators. Otherwise, that could have been very, very nasty, which I don't want at this point. So now moving into my shooting, let's see how we go. Okay, so end of shooting for Thousand Sons. Unfortunately, the dice are not going in Sean's favour at the moment. Did manage to kill off Sean's guys over in the corner here. With the
Reavers are no more.
No, the Reavers are gone. Now, what happened was, I did manage to kill off 6 guys with shooting, and unfortunately did fail his morale check.
Rolled a 12.
With a 12, and he did run off the board, unfortunately. So, a bit disappointing, unfortunately. Really gutted for Sean, because they could have made a big difference in the actual way the game works on this for us. So then going over to over towards the back, we did manage to take off one of the artillery, and unfortunately my Leviathan does what he normally does, fails to hit or fails to wound or penetrate with his Melter Lance at close range. Really gutted on that. But so let's now go into combat. Let's see if Magnus can take on Horus, or whether Horus is going to be the main man. Okay, so Sons of Horus are fighting back. I did charge into Sean's Leviathan, and my Leviathan does what he normally does and does best in combat, fails to hit, and when he does manage to get one in, Sean saves it like a true boss. And what does he do? He turns around, smacks me in the chops, puts me on my backside. So unfortunately, I'm really gutted I lost it, but well done for Sean. That does mean he's putting him back into the game, which leaves that Leviathan loose into that back corner, which I can see a couple of dead units if I don't manage to stop him, which I'm going to struggle. Over here, the combat with Magnus and Horus. Horus did manage to kill off 3 of my Terminators, and the squad with Magnus did manage to kill off 4 of yours.
Yeah, you killed 4.
So it's all to go for.
So guys, here we are, start of Sons of Horus, turn 3 movement. And this Leviathan's come over here. It's probably going to have a little bit of fun here with these veterans. Mobilised Leviathan here, as well as the Rhino and the drop pod, but we'll see what happens. Not a huge amount happening over here. Horus is just kind of taking on Magnus, going for the moral victory to take him down, and pretty much Darren has free reign to capture these objectives and go for the win. So let's see if he has the bloodlust to get these guys in here as well, and let's see if Horus can live up to his name and beat his brother down. So, Sons of Horus fans, we've managed to take out some more veterans. How many did I kill altogether? Squad of 10, is it?
Yes.
So killed 7 there. He's got some invuln saves which helped him. He cast psychic power on them. And then obviously I've nothing else, so we're just going to jump into combat with Horus over here. So guys, here we are. Horus has managed to take Magnus down by 2 wounds, so he's already starting to go down his strength, and he has gone down in his weapon skill for the rest of the game. No coming back for that. The Leviathan over here is going to have a little bit of a field day, but I think if we're being honest, really, it's Horus versus Ahriman, probably about 5 Terminators, another 4, so 9 Terminators and Magnus. But with the initiative, we might be able to take Magnus down another peg. We can see.
Movement done for the Thousand Sons. I have going for the win. I've moved my Terminator slightly further back just so I can hold that objective. That's if Horus doesn't make light work of Magnus. So at this moment in time, I ain't gonna lie, I am worrying. I can see Magnus's fate slipping through his fingers. I'm not giving up on him just yet. I feel that he can pull off the right spells. He can probably turn the tides in his favour. Now moving over, I position myself, my veteran slightly over to take a pop shot at Sean's cheeky little guy, which is just hiding behind the building. I need to kill him off for an extra point towards the end of the game. Over here, the Leviathan is going to make light work of him. However, I just moved the veterans just slightly over, just so again they can take a pop shot if they don't do it over there. Regards to my Fire Raptor, I have just pivoted him around, so he's going into hover this turn, just so I can have a cheeky shot at him. And I don't think the missiles are really going to do anything on the Leviathan, but let's see how we go. In the psychic phase, I have now buffed Magnus up a treat. So I have got all the goodies off. So I have got Warp Speed off, I have got Iron Arm off, I have enfeebled Horus, which is going to put down his toughness and strength by 1, which can help me out this turn. And I've also, that's all I've done really psychic wise, but that's all I needed just to buff him up. So let's go into shooting and let's see where we go. Okay, so end of shooting, not much really for me to shoot at. I did take 2 of the missiles into Sean's Leviathan. Did manage to get 1 glancing hit. Sean did save it like a boss. Okay, so end of combat. Horus has taken a wound, but Magnus is still there. He hasn't lost any other wounds at the moment. So now moving into Sean's turn, let's see how we go. So at the moment, Magnus is holding off, but not enough to put his brother down.
So guys, turn 4 for the Sons of Horus movement. This guy's moved a couple of inches. This guy's moved a couple of inches. So guys, we've managed to kill 2 more vets here from the Leviathan. Definitely not interested in walking in front of it. Might take it out next turn and chase this guy down. Should have enough time. Horus is still in combat here, so we're going to jump straight into this. I'm going to skip the assault phase and just jump into Horus's combat. So guys, end of the assault phase. Horus is still taking 2 wounds, but he gets it. It will not die. And look at that, he gets it back. So he goes down. He goes back up.
Have been on fire when it comes to it will not die.
Anyway, doesn't matter. We put that up, and the Leviathan, well, he didn't do anything. So moving on to Darren's turn 5.
Okay, so end of movement and psychic for Thousand Sons. So the Fire Raptor has pulled himself up the board. Just want to try to take some cheeky little shots into the back armour of the Leviathan. Try help my little buddy out if I can. And then psychic wise, I have buffed Magnus up again. So he's now sat all the little goodness I need to get myself through this combat. Hopefully we can turn the tides and hopefully we can push Horus back. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so it's getting late in the studio. Shooting wise, we have taken a couple of shots into the back of the Leviathan and did get 1 glancing hit in. What does Sean do? Rolls a 6. That has been the story of my life tonight. Did manage to take out the last of the artillery guy hiding behind the building there with 1 lucky bolter at the back. Let's go into combat. Let's see what we can do.
So, managed to get 2 hits in on Horus. Did take a wound on Horus. Horus hit 5
times?
5 times, and all 5 got in. And he needed 2s. He got 3 1s and 2 in. Saved 1 and did take 1 wound. So that does mean now I'm cussed. So it's going to put me down to initiative 1. Let's move into Sean's next turn.
So guys, here we are again. My movement phase has been very, very easy. All I have done is move the Leviathan a couple of inches. I am really I'm not going to win this game, so I'm going to go for some moral victories. So as we said, one of my Dreadnoughts is going to be the star player. He's going to absolutely beat down 2 of Darren's. I was tempted to try and shoot at the Fire Raptor. I just thought, like, if it's sneaking by, I might see if I can rip it out of the sky. That would be pretty impressive. And the main man himself, he's gone up against Magnus and all his boys, and he has gone toe to toe, taking a few wounds, but he's really pushing back. We may see the death of Magnus in this game yet, so let's see how we get on. So here we go, guys. What we have are the 3 Cyclonic Melter Lances. Going to roll into the back Dreadnought, hitting on 2s. Ooh, but 1 misses, but we have 1 in the arm as well. That hits. Now remember, Darren has Ceramite armor, so the first 2 from the Cyclonic Melter Lance are strength 9 into the back at 12. We've got 1-3, which I believe is a glancing, and we'll also have a penetrating. And then from the strength 8 Melter Gun, we've managed to get a 6, so 2 pens and 1 glancing. We'll come back in a second and see how. Guys, here we are. Darren, show us what your Leviathan. Can he make 4 saves?
No, he's gone.
He's gone. Vengeance of the Dreadnought. Fantastic.
Does it blow up?
What does it? Does it kill your own guy? Roll a dice. Please, let's see if we can. No, it's a 1.
It's fine. Just a concept.
That would be good. So guys, we have done another round of combat with Horus and Magnus. This is turn 5, moving into turn 6. So I have managed to do 2 wounds on Magnus, and he made his 4-up invuln saves, which was pretty good. We're now going into the next turn. Should be the goes off. Yeah, let's see if we go into the next turn. So we got a 6, so the game does continue. So let's see what happens.
Magnus is now down to 2 wounds. Unfortunately, did have a little mishap on the Perils of the Warp, so it did put him down 1. Sean did manage to pop another wound on him with Horus. However, I did get It Will Not Die, so I did get 1 wound back, which puts me back up to 2 wounds. Horus is also down to 2 wounds left. Moving into Sean's next turn, let's see if Horus can do something.
So guys, here we are at the end of turn 6 in the movement phase. The Leviathan has climbed up on top of the wreckage of the Rhino to fire at the lone Thousand Son making his way across the battlefield. But yeah, alas, he is in range of the Leviathan. And then we have Horus, who has absolutely dominated this combat. There's 2 wins apiece. Either could win. What looked like a one-sided game has definitely turned out to be a thriller. So it's a clear victory from all senses for the Thousand Sons, but we're going for the moral victory. Can Horus pull it off a last minute and just rip his brother's heart out? So guys, here we are at the end of the Sons of Horus shooting phase. As we've seen, the one lone veteran is gone. Let's jump into the phase of Assault. So guys, Magnus went to strike. He's been wounded a lot of tendons been torn. As a result, he needed 5s to hit Horus. Missed with all of them. Now, the Terminators do get to attack back, but I've managed to put 2 wounds on Magnus with the Talon. Darren's failed the 2 saves with a double 2, but he has some feel no pain. Is that right?
Yep, so one of them's in, one of them's out.
Cool. So 1 wound to 2 wins, but Horus could go down. So guys, here we are, the end of turn 6 for the Assault phase, the very last play of the game. I managed to put 2 wounds on Magnus, as we've seen, dropped him down to 1 wound. Magnus has already attacked first, so that leaves the Sekhmet Terminators. Now, out of nowhere, they have hit with 6 attacks and caused 6 wounds. Horus only had 2 wounds left, and unfortunately, he has lost his last 2 wounds. So in the very last play of the game, we've lost Horus. So, to recap, what we have on the board is a definite victory. We'll put the tally up here in the top right corner, but Thousand Sons have captured pretty much most of the objectives around the board, and the only thing that we have left is the Leviathan for the Sons of Horus. What a great game. Nobody seen Horus going toe to toe with Magnus and his bodyguard for that long, and then just in the last final rounds he lost his strength and he went down. So we're going to jump into a recap now, guys, and go over how we thought the game went.
Okay, so at that end of that grueling epic battle, and that was a fun game all the way through that, I did kind of get a bit panicky, and I did think maybe Magnus was going to drop to Horus. Not going to lie, at one point I did think his cards were marked.
So close.
It was so close. It was so close.
Setmech stood in for the last roll of the dice and basically did what they needed to do and accounted and took out Horus, which was a sad ending to Horus. If he had gone toe to toe and survived to the end of the game, that would have been pretty cool. But unfortunately today he is no more. So we've got some of our star units here. We're just going to go through quickly, what they did in the game, why we picked them. Hopefully you guys have kind of followed the progress throughout the battle report and you enjoyed what they did.
So for myself, the 2 units I'm going to say were my star units was a Magnus, purely the fact that at the beginning with the Biomancy and Smite, charging up to be a D, did take out your Spartan before it could do any real damage on the battlefield, so I was quite happy with that. And the fact that the buffs keeping him up on the surviving himself against Horus, so I was quite chuffed on that. I did think he was going to drop to Horus, but the fact that he did manage to last right to the end with all the psychic goodness that he had with himself. And then the second unit I was going to say was going to be my star unit was the Terminators that he accompanied, purely because they did manage to hold out and they did manage to put Horus on, put him down right towards the end. So
for sure,
really chuffed on that.
Pretty good. I've got 2 which I really enjoyed. If I didn't have these, the game would have been a different experience. So we have the Leviathan here. We kind of potentially picked him out as a star player at the beginning of the game. He took out 2 Leviathans. He took out the Librarian Dreadnought for the Thousand Sons and managed to finish off a unit of veterans. So we kind of worked that out. It's about 1,100 points thereabouts, a little bit more. So that's a third of Darren's army. So I was really impressed.
Quite shocking though, because like when I went into combat with him, I was so confident that my Leviathan would at least do a couple of whole points off him.
I just rolled those 4s.
And he just turned around and said, yeah, well, it was kind of like a backhander with his shot. It's like, get out of it, man, come on.
It's the way they are. I mean, to be fair, the Leviathans coming down in turn 1 made a big difference.
Yes.
Like you pop the Rhino, my veterans are running across the table, and they were quite scary, and I had to deal with them. And then I picked Horus because even at 500 points and doing what he should do, he shouldn't really go in against Magnus at full Biomancy buff with 4 Setmech and the rest and last that many turns and survive. So I never really make my it will not die rolls, which was incredible. I just kept rolling them one after the other, and I made on with 3+ influence saves. So I
was an absolute boss with those saves.
Yeah.
Get a couple wins there, it's like, yeah, no, whatever.
He does.
And then you lose it, you lose one, it's like, meh, there you go, it's back again.
So, I mean, to summarise, really enjoyed the game. You can probably tell the light in the studio has changed, so we kind of slept on it. Afterwards, I look back and I think, sometimes you play games like that where everything is going to die, and that's just the way it is. I've been on the other side where I've wiped out thousands of points, and you're just like, oh, I'm really sorry, and there's nothing really much I can do about it. But the way this game went and how it played was worthwhile. We didn't really count the points up at the end. I lost about 14 units altogether, so I was severely behind, but I think I was going for that moral victory, and if I could have taken Magnus down before I dropped off the board, that would be good. And then we had the Leviathan, so that's probably the best game this Leviathan's ever had in its life. So when it needed it, it pulled it out. So yeah, guys, really happy with that, and hopefully we have more Heresy games to come in the future.
No, it's too late. Use that awkward on silence.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this episode of Twisted Dice. For more content, please like, subscribe, and share. See you again, guys. Bye bye.